My stepson told me, "You're not my real dad. Just keep paying." At his college acceptance dinner, my wife nodded. They came home expecting a celebration. Instead, they found a drained $92,000 college fund and divorce papers. Hey Reddit, I spent 12 years being the dad who showed up and paid for everything. So when my stepson told me to just keep paying and my wife backed him up, I said nope, took my money, and walked. But they weren't done with me yet. Before we get to that, let me start from the beginning. I'm Cameron Hayes, 31 years old when this story starts, 43 when it ends. Senior analyst at a corporate finance firm in Baltimore. Made decent money, kept my head down, did my job, met Alicia 12 years ago. She was a pharmaceutical sales rep with a 6-year-old son named David. His biological father, Kyle, had bailed when the kid was 3. Moved to Arizona, started fresh, stopped sending checks, left them hanging. I wasn't looking to be anyone's hero. But Alicia was drowning financially. David was a quiet kid who liked dinosaurs and video games. We dated 10 months, got married. I moved into their townhouse in Towson, started paying the mortgage because I made more. Covered groceries, utilities, insurance, his medical bills. Showed up for soccer games and parent-teacher conferences, helped with homework every night, did everything a father does except get called one for the first 9 years. Then David asked if he could call me dad when he was 9. Said his real dad wasn't there. I was. So for 9 years, I was dad. Until the night of his college acceptance dinner. The envelope was still in my hands when David said it. "You're not my real dad. Just keep paying." We were standing in the private room at Vincenzo's, overlooking the harbor. 42 people watching. Family, friends, teachers from his high school, kids from his lacrosse team. All packed into this room I'd reserved for the night. Cost me over $4,000 total. The envelope held plane tickets. Round trip to Barcelona for him and 2 friends. $1,800. David looked at the envelope, then at me. Didn't reach for it. "I don't need that," he said, loud enough that conversations nearby stopped. I already told Mom I wanted cash. He'd been talking to me like that more lately. Like my job was to fund him, not raise him. Alicia was standing 5 feet away talking to her sister. She heard him, turned and looked at us. I kept my voice level. "We can talk about this later. This is your night." "No, I'm good." He smiled. Not friendly, more like he was enjoying this. "You're not my real dad. Stop trying so hard. Just keep paying like you do." The room went quiet. That specific kind of silence where everyone's pretending not to listen while absolutely listening. I looked at Alicia, waited for her to say something. Tell him to stop, apologize, remind him of the 12 years I'd been there. She walked over, put her hand on David's shoulder, looked at me with an expression I'd never seen before. "He has a point. You need to respect his boundaries." She said it quietly, but everyone could hear. "You're my husband. You're not his father. There's a difference." David smirked. Couple of his lacrosse buddies in the back were grinning. I set the envelope on the table next to his cake. 22 candles, strawberry cream, his name in blue icing. Untouched. Walked through the crowd. People moved out of my way. Nobody spoke. Nobody made eye contact. Got in my Audi, started the engine, backed out while everyone watched through the windows. I drove straight to the bank. Here's what nobody tells you about being a stepfather. You're always one conversation away from being reminded you don't actually belong. You can do everything right for over a decade and still get hit with, "You're not my real dad," the second it's convenient. A few months before the dinner, Alicia had pulled me aside at a family barbecue. "You're his stepdad, not his dad. There's a difference." 2 weeks before the dinner, David asked for $200. I asked what for. Alicia stepped in. "Don't start. Just give it to him." I'd opened the college fund 8 months before we got married. Large performance bonus at the firm. $46,000 after taxes. Kept it separate. Put in $700 a month for over 12 years from that segregated account. Kept feeding it with separate bonuses over the years. Those bonuses hit my individual account, stayed separate, and every transfer came from there. Never our joint funds. $92,000 total in my name only. Also co-signed his car loan 2 years ago. Mazda sedan. $21,000 financed. Monthly payment $395. I'd been making every payment. When I first co-signed, David thanked me. Said he'd chip in once he got a job. Never happened. When I brought it up, he'd shrug. "You make way more than I ever could anyway." The PNC branch on York Road was open until 6. Got there at 5:22. The banker pulled up my accounts. Which account? Education savings. Transfer everything into my primary checking. That's $92,143. You sure? Positive. She clicked through confirmations. 4 minutes later, it was done. I pulled out my phone. $92,143 in my checking account. 12 years of planning for a kid who just told a room full of people to just keep paying. Sat in my car for a minute, engine running, hands on the wheel, phone buzzing constantly, texts coming in. Alicia, her sister, Diane. I didn't look at any of them. I drove to my lawyer's office. Martin's office was near Mount Vernon. Small firm, specialized in family law. I'd used him when we bought our house. Good lawyer. Got there at 5:58, knocked hard. He came to the door holding a coffee mug. Need to file for divorce. Tonight if possible. He blinked. Tonight's Saturday. Monday morning then. But I need paperwork started now. He unlocked the door. Come in. We sat in his office. What happened? I told him. The dinner, the comment, Alicia backing him up. The college fund, the car loan. Everything came out. Martin listened, wrote everything down. Okay, let's go through assets. House first, 3-bedroom in Lutherville. Bought 5 years ago for $460,000. I'd contributed most of the down payment. Monthly mortgage $2,800. I'd been paying the majority. 5 years of bank records proved it. I made $138,000. Alicia made $74,000. We split bills 70-30. What about the kid? Martin asked. David's 18. Legal adult. No child support. College fund? In my name only. Opened 8 months before marriage. Funded entirely by me. I have over 12 years of automatic withdrawal records. She'll fight that. Let her. And the car? Co-signed loan. Both our names. He's never made a payment. I've covered all 24 months. $21,000 balance remaining. That's a problem. Joint obligation means you're stuck with it until it's paid off or refinanced. I know. Martin typed on his computer. Clicked through forms. You know this is going to get ugly. It already is. I mean, legally. Financially. She's going to fight you on everything. Then we fight. He looked at me for a long moment. You're sure? Completely. He printed the petition. Maryland no-fault divorce, irreconcilable differences. 23 pages. I signed every form. He signed as counsel. Filed it electronically at 6:47 p.m. She'll be served Monday afternoon. Good. I left. Drove to the Marriott near the Inner Harbor. Checked in, went upstairs, sat on the bed. My phone started buzzing at 7:53. Alicia. Declined. She called again. Declined. Then David. Then Alicia's mother. 17 calls in an hour. I turned off my phone at 9. Sunday morning I went back to the house. Alicia's car was gone. David's Mazda was in the driveway. House was quiet. David was probably asleep. I packed. Clothes, laptop, documents, photos from before Alicia. My tools, my golf clubs. Everything mine. 4 trips to the car. Each time, the house felt less like home. The envelope with the plane tickets was still on the kitchen counter, right where I'd left it yesterday. Unopened. I picked it up. Thought about taking it back, getting a refund. Airlines usually gave you 24 hours. Then I set it back down, left it there, locked the door, drove back to the hotel, turned on my phone at 10:48, 83 missed calls, 41 voicemails. I listened to 3. Where's the money? David needs it. This is theft. D, that money was mine. This is illegal. How dare you abandon that boy after everything? Pathetic. I deleted all 41. Martin called at 2:18 p.m. Your wife's attorney just called. Rebecca Klein. She's with Morrison and Beck. They're aggressive. Okay. She's demanding immediate return of the college fund, claiming it's marital property and an explicit gift to David. It's in my name. Opened 8 months before marriage. Funded from separate premarital savings I kept segregated throughout the marriage. They're also demanding you continue car payments during separation. Joint obligation. If he stops making payments, it goes to collections and hits both our credit scores. They're going to paint you as vindictive. I'm withdrawing voluntary support after being explicitly told I'm not family. That's reality. I hung up. Opened my email. Started typing. Subject, car loan. Action required. David. The Mazda is financed under a joint loan in both our names. I've been making all 24 payments so far. Going forward, you have 3 options. 1. Refinance the loan in your name only. $21,000 balance remaining. 2. Sell the car and pay off the loan. 3. Make the monthly payments yourself. $395, due on the 15th. If no action is taken and payments are missed, the loan goes to collections, damaging both our credit scores. Choose one option by Friday. I sent it. Forwarded it to Martin. Then I blocked Alicia and David's numbers. 2 hours later, Martin called again. You're not going to believe this. What? David posted a video. What video? From last night. At the dinner. Someone recorded it with their phone. It's on Instagram, TikTok, everywhere. They're saying it's gone viral across platforms. Over 50,000 views already. My stomach dropped. What's in it? You handing him the envelope. Him saying you're not his real dad. The whole exchange. But here's the thing. It's edited. Cuts off right before your wife says anything. Makes it look like you caused a scene and stormed out over nothing. Are you serious? Dead serious. Comments are brutal. People calling you controlling, insecure, fragile. Someone tagged your firm's official account. I pulled up Instagram on my phone, found David's profile. The video was right there, 43 seconds long. Just me handing him the envelope, him saying I'm not his real dad, me setting it down and walking out. No context, no audio of Alicia backing him up, no audio of him telling me to just keep paying. Caption: when your stepdad makes your college acceptance dinner about himself? Comments were vicious. Imagine being this insecure. Guy can't handle a teenager's boundaries, so he throws a tantrum at the kid's own party. Step-parents who do this are the worst. 732 comments. Shares multiplying every time I refreshed. Someone had made it a meme already. Another account did a reaction video with exaggerated shock faces. The algorithm was eating it up. This upload on Instagram was climbing fast. I watched it go from 16,000 to 18,000 while I stared at the screen. Refreshed again. 20,000. 22,000. People were discovering it in real time. My firm's account was tagged in 18 replies. People calling for me to be fired, saying I was unstable, saying someone like me shouldn't work with clients. You still there? Martin asked. Yeah. Don't respond. Don't engage. Let it die down. Anything you say will make it worse. People think I'm some controlling psycho who couldn't handle a kid setting boundaries. I know. But responding proves their point. Stay quiet. Let your lawyer do the talking. I hung up, sat there staring at my phone. Someone knocked on my hotel door at 4:30 p.m. I looked through the peephole. Tom. My buddy from the firm. Senior partner, known him 8 years. Good guy. We'd grab lunch every couple weeks. Talked about work, life, sports. I opened the door. Hey man, he said. Didn't smile. Can I come in? Yeah. He sat in the chair by the window. I sat on the bed. Could tell he didn't want to be here. This wasn't a social call. Saw the video, he said. It's edited. Doesn't show the whole thing. I know, but it's making the rounds. Clients are asking about it. HR got 3 emails this morning. One from a client's wife demanding we remove you from their account. My chest tightened. What are you saying? I'm saying take some time off. Paid leave. Let this blow over. Come back in 2 weeks when people have moved on. You're benching me because my stepson posted an edited video. I'm protecting you and the firm. This kind of attention is bad for business. You know that. He wasn't wrong. I did know that. Still felt like getting punched in the throat. Fine, I said. Good. Take care of yourself. Let me know if you need anything. He left. I sat there in that hotel room until the sun went down. My phone buzzed. Email from David. I opened it. Subject: you owe me this. The tuition enrollment confirmation deposit for University of Maryland is due this Friday. $400. Deadline is May 8th. If it's not paid, I lose my spot. First tuition bill installment is due May 15th. Another $4,800. Orientation fee is $300. Due June 1st. If you don't pay these, I lose everything. My acceptance, my housing, my whole future. So do the right thing. This isn't about us. This is about my education. You can't punish me for setting boundaries. Stop being selfish and think about someone other than yourself for once. David. I stared at the email for a full minute. Then I forwarded it to Martin with one sentence. Evidence of ongoing financial coercion. Typed one sentence back to David. Not your father, not your bill. Blocked the email address. Thought about 12 years of showing up for every single thing. Soccer games, school plays, doctor appointments, homework help, birthday parties, holidays, vacations. 12 years of being there when his real father wasn't. 12 years summed up in 43 edited seconds and a demand for $400 by Friday. Monday morning, email from the bank. Subject line, loan payment. Past due, action required. Opened it while sitting on the edge of the hotel bed. Coffee from the lobby in my hand. Still tasted like cardboard, but at least it was hot. The car payment was due on the 15th. Today was the 20th, 5 days late. First missed payment in 2 years. My credit score would take a hit in 30 days if it wasn't resolved. I'd sent the email to David on Sunday. Gave him 3 options. He'd chosen none of them. Hadn't even responded. I called Martin. The car payment's late, I said. You stopped autopay? Sunday night, after I sent the email. Autopay was scheduled to draft on the 20th. I shut it off before it could process. And he hasn't responded? Nope. Which means in 25 days it goes to collections. Both our credit scores tank. Do you want to just pay it and sue for reimbursement later? No. Your credit score is going to take a hit too. I know. But mine can recover. I have 13 years of perfect payment history, 0 debt besides the mortgage, high income. I'll be fine. Him? He's 18 with no credit history, except this one loan. A collections notice will destroy him for years. Maybe he'll learn something from it. You're playing hardball. I'm not playing at all. I'm done. Silence on the other end. Then, okay, your call. Alicia was served at noon. Process server went to her office. Martin called to confirm. Her lawyer wants mediation. No. Rebecca filed an emergency motion that afternoon, requesting the court freeze my bank accounts, claiming I'd hidden marital funds. Martin called. Did you see the motion? Just got the email. They're arguing the fund is marital property. They want it frozen. It's in my name. Opened before marriage. Funded from separate premarital savings I kept segregated. They'll argue verbal promise and intent. Let them. I have documentation. It's separate property. You're risking everything. Or I could win. He was quiet. Okay. Emergency hearing is Wednesday. Can you be there? Absolutely. Wednesday morning. Emergency hearing. Baltimore County Circuit Court. Judge Mendez presiding. Small courtroom. Just us, the lawyers, a bailiff, and a court reporter. Rebecca went first. Stood up. All business. Expensive suit. Your Honor, this is financial manipulation and retaliation. Mr. Hayes withdrew $92,000 from what was clearly intended as a college fund for his stepson, immediately after a minor disagreement at a family dinner. This is vindictive and punitive. Your Honor, Martin stood up. The account in question was opened 8 months prior to marriage, is held solely in my client's name, and was funded exclusively through premarital savings he kept separate throughout the marriage. There is no legal basis to claim it as marital property. But it was intended for the child, Rebecca said. Mrs. Hayes will testify that Mr. Hayes explicitly stated the money was for David's college education. Intent is not the same as completed gift, Martin countered. The account remained in Mr. Hayes' name with no beneficiary designation. He retained full control. It's separate property. Judge Mendez looked at me. Mr. Hayes, did you tell your wife and stepson that this money was for college? I stood. Yes, Your Honor, when I thought I was his father. And what changed? At his college acceptance dinner, in front of 42 witnesses, he told me I'm not his real father and to just keep paying. My wife agreed and told me to respect his boundaries. I was explicitly told I'm not family. I pulled out a folder. Martin had prepared it. Bank statements showing years of systematic transfers from my premarital savings. Slid it across to the judge. All mine, Your Honor. Separate property. Judge Mendez reviewed the documents. Made notes. She flipped through the statements. Year after year of transfers from the same personal account. Looked up at both lawyers. Counselor Rebecca. When was the account opened? 8 months before marriage, Your Honor, but... And the contributions came from what source? Martin stood. A performance bonus Mr. Hayes received before the engagement, Your Honor. Kept in a separate account, never commingled with marital funds. The judge tapped her pen. Reviewed the statements again. I'm inclined to agree this appears to be separate property, but I want to be thorough given the amounts involved. She looked at Alicia. Mrs. Hayes, is it accurate that you told Mr. Hayes he's not your son's father? Alicia stood. She dressed carefully. Modest blouse, minimal makeup, hair pulled back. Your Honor, I was trying to respect my son's emotional boundaries. Did you say those words? Yes or no? Alicia hesitated. Yes, but... And did your son tell Mr. Hayes to just keep paying? He was upset. Yes or no? Yes. The judge made more notes. Looked at Rebecca. Counselor, your motion requests freezing of the college fund pending asset division. But if the account was opened before marriage and funded from separate premarital assets, it's separate property under Maryland law. I'm denying the motion. Rebecca stood. Your Honor, denied. The account remains with Mr. Hayes. Next issue. The jointly held vehicle. Mr. Hayes has stopped making payments on a car loan he co-signed. The judge looked at me. Mr. Hayes, why did you stop making payments? I sent my stepson an email on Sunday outlining 3 options. Refinance in his name, sell the car, or make payments himself. He chose none of them. It's a joint obligation, the judge said. Both parties are equally responsible. Mr. Hayes, did you communicate clearly about the options? Yes, Your Honor. I have the email chain. Then it's on him to choose one. Motion denied. Rebecca looked furious. Your Honor, we also request emergency spousal support. Denied. Mrs. Hayes makes $74,000 annually. She's not in financial distress. We'll revisit support at the final hearing. Anything else? No, Your Honor. Court adjourned. I walked out of that courtroom feeling something I hadn't felt in days. Relief. Martin caught up with me in the hallway. That went better than expected, he said. She saw it. Judge Mendez is good. Fair. Doesn't like games. What happens now? Discovery. Depositions. We're probably looking at 4 to 6 months before trial unless they want to settle. They won't settle. Probably not. But you need to prepare yourself. This is going to get worse before it gets better. He was right. That week, the harassment intensified. The following Monday, the Mazda disappeared from the driveway at the house in Lutherville. Martin called Tuesday. Alicia filed a police report. Says you stole it. I didn't touch the car. David sold it. Some kind of fraudulent transfer. Got $18,000 cash but never paid off the lien. How did he pull that off? David forged a lien release and handed the buyer fake title paperwork. Promised to mail the clean title within a week. The buyer tried to register it 2 weeks later and discovered the lien was still active. That's when the police report came in. That's fraud. It's definitely illegal. The bank's already moving to repossess. They'll auction it and come after both of you for the deficiency. Do it. By the time the bank caught up, it was already weeks later. They recovered the car from whoever bought it, auctioned it off at a loss, got $14,000, sent both David and me a bill for the remaining $7,000 plus fees. Total, $9,200. My credit score dropped 73 points. I paid the $9,000. Didn't have a choice. Wednesday morning, Martin called. Have you seen David's Instagram? Not since last week. Check it. Now. I pulled it up. New post from 2 hours ago. Photo of the Mazda with the keys sitting on the hood. Caption. When your stepdad tries to steal your car because you hurt his feelings. The comments were worse than before. This dude is unhinged. Imagine being this petty to an 18-year-old. Someone check on this kid's safety. 1,500 comments. 23,000 likes. He's making me look like a psycho, I said. I know, but you can't respond. It'll make it worse. Martin, people think I'm trying to steal his car. I gave him options. He's the one who stopped making payments, then committed fraud. The court will understand that. The internet won't. Stay offline. Focus on discovery. But the full story was still out there somewhere. Martin told me David's lacrosse friend who filmed the dinner refused to share the uncut version, protecting David. The edited version was the only thing spreading. That afternoon, my phone rang. Number I didn't recognize. I almost didn't answer. Hello? Hey, it's Kyle. I heard what happened. Saw the videos online. That was messed up, man. I didn't say anything. Look, I know I haven't been around. Should have been. You stepped up. Did everything I didn't do. Where are you going with this? I'm going to help David with college. I'm in a better place financially now. I can cover tuition. Something in his voice felt rehearsed. When did you start talking to David again? Pause. About 6 months ago. My hands clenched. 6 months. Yeah, he reached out to me. And you told him what exactly? Just that I wanted to be there for him going forward. Be a better father than I was when he was little. Did you tell him to set boundaries with me? Silence. Long enough that I knew the answer. Did you tell him to say I'm not his real dad? I might have mentioned that he doesn't owe you anything just because you married his mom. That it's okay to have boundaries around the dad thing. How much are you actually planning to contribute? Give me a number. Well, I was thinking we could split the costs. You know, like co-parent the expenses going forward. So nothing. You're contributing nothing. I can't afford the whole thing by myself, man. I've got my other kids, child support payments, the mortgage in Phoenix. Money's tight, but I can help with some of it. Don't call me talking about stepping up when you're doing exactly what you always do. Disappearing when it costs you something real. I hung up, sat there shaking. 6 months of coaching, 6 months of manipulation, and I hadn't known any of it. Something changed that week. Someone sent Martin a screenshot. Text chain between David and Kyle. The angle was wrong, like someone had photographed it over David's shoulder. Alicia's sister Jennifer, apparently. She'd found it on David's laptop when she was helping him move. Had an attack of conscience. Kyle, just be clear with him. You have a real dad. You don't owe him anything. David, should I say it at the dinner? Kyle, perfect timing. Lots of witnesses. He'll look bad if he reacts. Just say you appreciate what he's done, but you need boundaries, and that he should keep supporting you financially, because that's separate from the relationship stuff. David, word for word like that? Kyle, your words, but yeah. Make it clear. He's not your dad, but he should keep paying. I'll cover college once you're free of him. Promise. David, thanks, Dad. This means a lot. The timestamp. 6 days before the dinner. Where did you get this? I asked Martin. Jennifer sent it. Apparently felt guilty. This is proof. This is evidence Kyle coached him. Premeditated the entire thing. Promised college money he never intended to pay. Can we use this? In court? Absolutely. This shows coordination and intent to exploit you financially. I sat there staring at the screenshot. 6 days before the dinner. They'd planned the whole thing. Discovery, depositions, document requests, 3 months of legal warfare. Martin billed me $34,000. I had to take a loan. My credit score hit 612. Couldn't finance anything. Couldn't rent a decent place. Burned through my savings. The $92,000 from the college fund kept me alive, but it was draining fast. Job market was brutal. First interview. The hiring manager's assistant pulled up my name on her phone during the interview. Saw the video. Interview ended 20 minutes early. Second interview, they told me they'd gone with another candidate before I even left the building. Two companies rescinded offers after background checks, citing concerns about judgment and brand representation. I was running out of money and options. September rent was due. October after that. Lawyer bills piling up. Living on what was left of the college fund and watching it drain faster than I'd planned. But I showed up for trial. September 18th, Baltimore County Circuit Court. Judge Mendez presiding. Walked in at 8:45 a.m. Courtroom smelled like old wood and floor polish, high ceilings, windows along one wall letting in morning light. Felt like every legal drama you've ever seen, except this one was real, and it was my life. Rebecca went first. Spent 2 hours painting me as controlling and manipulative. Said I'd used money as a weapon, that I couldn't handle losing control, that I'd punished an innocent teenager for having healthy boundaries. Made me sound like a monster. Then Alicia testified. Cried on the stand, real tears. Not the kind you can fake. He changed after David hit puberty. More controlling. Always needing credit. Needing acknowledgement. Always reminding us how much he did. How much he paid for. Made everything feel like a transaction. Did he ever threaten you financially? All the time. He'd remind me how much he paid for things. The mortgage. The car. David's expenses. Made me feel like I owed him. Like we were in debt to him just for existing. Lies. Every word. But she sold it well. And at David's acceptance dinner? David was just trying to set a healthy boundary, trying to establish his own identity, separate from the man who raised him. And Cameron couldn't handle it. He walked out, humiliated my son in front of everyone, then took everything. The money, filed for divorce, all because a teenager hurt his ego. She looked right at me when she said it. Eyes red, face composed. Performance of a lifetime. Then David testified. He was always nice when I was little, but as I got older, he got weird about stuff. Always needing me to call him dad. Always needing me to thank him. And at your dinner? I just wanted to set a boundary. I appreciated his help, but he wasn't my dad. And he completely lost it. Martin cross-examined. You testified that he needed you to call him dad. But didn't you ask if you could call him dad when you were 10? David shifted in his seat. Looked at his mother. I was 10. I didn't understand. And at your dinner, you told him to just keep paying. Correct? I was upset. That's not what I asked. Did you tell Mr. Hayes to just keep paying? Yes. While also telling him he's not your father? I was setting a boundary. By telling him he's not your father, but should continue paying for you financially? I didn't mean it like that. How did you mean it? Silence. Let me rephrase. You told a man who'd supported you for 12 years to just keep paying while simultaneously telling him he's not your father, correct? Yes, but I was setting a boundary. Martin pulled out a document. Your Honor, Defense Exhibit 12. Text messages between the witness and his biological father, Kyle, 6 days before the dinner. He read them aloud. Every word. Kyle coaching David. The exact phrasing. The promise of college money that never came. David went pale. Alicia sat up straighter in her seat. Did your biological father coach you to reject Mr. Hayes publicly? We were just talking about stuff. Did he tell you to say those exact words at the dinner? He suggested. Did he promise to pay for your college if you cut off Mr. Hayes? Silence. Answer the question. He said he'd help. Did he pay for your college? No, but no further questions. Martin put me on the stand after lunch. I testified for 30 minutes. Financial contributions, documentation. The systematic separation of funds. At David's dinner, what exactly did he say? He told me I'm not his real dad and to just keep paying. And your wife? She told me to respect his boundaries. Said I'm her husband, not his father. Why did you withdraw the college fund? Because I'm not his father. They made that clear. So I stopped funding someone who explicitly told me I'm not family. Rebecca cross-examined. Mr. Hayes, you're keeping the entire college fund. It's my money, in my name, funded by me. But it was intended for David, when I thought I was his father. You're punishing a teenager for setting boundaries. I looked right at her. I'm protecting myself from people who valued me for my utility, not my place in the family. Silence. Judge Mendez wrote something down. Rebecca tried again. You withdrew $92,000 the same day as the incident. I withdrew my own money after being told I'm not family. That seems calculated. It was. I was told I'm not his father. So I stopped funding someone who isn't my son. That's not punishment. That's reality. Martin did redirect. Showed the payment history. The systematic exclusion from decisions while still expected to pay. The text messages proving coordination. Judge Mendez called recess. Said she'd issue a ruling within 30 days. We left the courthouse. How do you think it went? I asked Martin. The text messages helped, showed premeditation. We've got a shot. If I lose, then you lose. But you fought. The ruling came October 9th. Martin called at 10 a.m. You won. College fund is separate property. You keep it. House equity split 65-35 in your favor. No alimony. Clean break. I won. Judge saw through their narrative, called David's conduct entitled and manipulative, said Alicia was complicit. You're keeping the money. What about the car fraud? Civil court ruled separately. David owes you $9,200, plus legal fees. Total, $14,000. Will I actually see that money? Probably not. He has no assets. So I spent $34,000 in legal fees to win a judgment I'll never collect. You won the principal. I hung up. Looked at my bank account, $43,000 left from the college fund. Another $28,000 from house equity coming eventually. $71,000 total. I'd started with $92,000 in savings and a six-figure job. I was ending with $71,000 in assets, no job, and bad credit. But I'd won. Sort of. My phone rang an hour later. Unknown number. I almost didn't answer. Figured it was another reporter or someone from Alicia's family. Hello? Is this Cameron Hayes? Yeah. This is Brian Moss from Meridian Financial Group. We're expanding our Baltimore office. Your name came up in our search for senior analysts. One of our recruiters saw the full video that's been circulating, the unedited one. Would you be interested in discussing an opportunity? I sat up. Yes, absolutely. Great. Can you come in Thursday for a preliminary conversation? I'll be there. We talked for another 5 minutes. He'd seen the full dinner video that Jennifer had leaked after she sent Martin the text screenshots. She'd posted it anonymously to correct the record. Showed Alicia backing David up. Showed the real context. The recruiter had sent it to Brian. Didn't change his interest. Needed someone with my experience and client relationships. Said my reputation in the industry spoke for itself. I hung up feeling something I hadn't felt in months. Forward momentum. 3 weeks later, I was at Whole Foods, Tuesday afternoon. Turned down the produce aisle and saw them. Alicia and David, loading vegetables into a cart. They saw me. David looked at his phone. Alicia's face went hard. I walked up to them. Hey, Alicia said. Defensive. Hey. David didn't look up. Congratulations on the ruling, she said. Thanks. Silence. You took everything from him. He's at community college now, working at Target. You destroyed his future. I took what was mine. He destroyed his own future when he told me to keep paying while cutting me out. He's a kid. He's an adult, old enough to commit fraud, old enough to face consequences. David looked up. You really can't let this go? Let what go? The 12 years? The public humiliation? The fraud? Which part? I set one boundary and you nuked everything. You didn't set a boundary. You tried to demote me while keeping my benefits. That's exploitation. Whatever, man. Enjoy your money. He walked away. Alicia looked at me. Was it worth it? Yeah. Why? Because you don't get to strip me of family status and demand I keep family obligations. She started to walk away. Alicia. She stopped. Kyle called me. Told me he'd been coaching David for 6 months, promising college money he never paid. Did you know? She didn't answer. You knew. You went along with it because you wanted me gone. That's not... I have the texts. The judge saw them. Her eyes filled. You were supposed to do it because you loved us. I did love you. For 12 years. But love goes both ways. You can't demand sacrifice while denying respect. He's going to struggle because of you. He's going to struggle because of his own choices. He threw it away to be cruel for less than a minute. That's on him. I walked past her. Checked out. Went home. Sat in my new apartment that night. 1 bedroom in Canton. Fresh start. Job lined up. Brian Moss had called. They wanted me. Starting in 2 weeks. $85,000 to start. Not what I'd made before, but it was forward momentum. Credit score already back up to 647. Getting better every month. $71,000 in assets. New job. New apartment. Life rebuilding itself piece by piece. I'd paid a real price. Lost job. Lost credit. Lost 9 months and $34,000 in legal fees. But I'd won something too. Self-respect. They'd tried to keep me as a wallet while stripping me of family status. When I refused, they tried everything to break me. Edited videos. Legal warfare. Family ambushes. Harassment. None of it worked because I'd learned something. Something I wish I'd figured out sooner. You're either valued as a person or you're not. And if you're not, the only move is to walk away and let them feel the weight of what they took for granted. David wanted his real father. He got him. Kyle didn't pay, didn't help, didn't show up. Alicia wanted to respect her son's feelings. She got to watch him struggle through community college while working retail. Me? I got my self-respect back. Got a second chance. Got to rebuild on my own terms. Was it worth it? Every single penny. Guys, we are so close to hit 100,000 subscribers on this channel. If you are not subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. It really helps hit that 100,000 mark. Thanks for making this dream come true.